Greetings and salutations. Random, not so random thoughts in this moment. And I guess not really random at all. This was like actually pretty damn planned out. My partner here has set up a whole um, sound thing for me. Um, but yes, so I was watching an episode of Candace Owens, right? Candace. And I've been watching her podcast for a while, and also seeing like on social media different ways that her voice is being suppressed, and this idea that we're not supposed to listen to her, not supposed to platform her or, give her views, seeing her as a grifter, right? And all the while not having actually taken the time to listen to what she's been saying, and taking in the information that's being provided, There is a lot of things that she's talking about with regards to the structure of leadership in this country, around the world, and different things that we should be looking at and should be asking questions about that connect to a lot of different things that are happening in the world. And I think it's important that we allow ourselves to trust ourselves, right? To trust ourselves to discern, right? To trust ourselves to be able to listen to the points of views of people that we don't agree with, to be able to trust ourselves to listen to the information that's being provided and to know what's true for us, right? To know what's real and to know what's for you and what's not, right? Because she might be for you, she might not be, but allowing yourself to be the decider of that, For me, I absolutely love Candace, right? I am diametrically opposed to her on many different views, right? But that doesn't mean that I can't see her as the human being that she is and that I can't feel the truth it is that she is existing within, And this doesn't mean that I might never be proven wrong, right? But in this moment, right, I believe that who she is presenting is herself, her full authentic self, and the things that she is saying, she believes to be true, right? And there's a lot of important things that I think we should be listening to, that we should be privy to, that we understand that is happening around us in the world, not allowing ourselves to avoid taking in information because of things that we've heard, because of grudges that we've held, right? Allowing ourselves to release ourselves from those prisons, right? To free our minds from those things. But yeah, there were a few clips that I thought were pretty important to share. You might agree with me, you might not. I would love to hear what it is you think about it, right? What are your thoughts on it? How is it that that information sat with you? Even how is it that you felt listening to a person that you might not agree with, right? And how does it feel if maybe there were some things that you heard that felt like they could be true? Just really allowing yourself to like tap into all the different feelings that come up, right? And don't just like block it away. I think I hit it. Did that make like a thing? It's fine. He's shaking his head. It's fine. We're good. But yeah, just a thought. So I'm going to share those clips for you to watch and observe and just allow yourself to make up your mind for yourself, right? Maybe you watch the clips and it just more confirms what you already believed about her, right? And that's okay. That's perfectly okay, just as long as you gave yourself the opportunity to have that response, right? To have that response that's true for you, right? Yeah. And I believe with that, whoops, I hit it again. I am complete. Yeah, sending much love in this moment, just setting the intention in this moment to open ourselves more, mind, body, soul, right? Not closing ourselves off to anyone, anything, right? Just yeah. And that is it. Peace.
That's the Macron lawsuit in a nutshell. You know, I got really annoyed yesterday. People were tagging me and telling me, and Megyn Kelly did this segment, and, you know, she's like, oh, it's totally level-headed. I'm going to say I think Candace is going to win the Macron lawsuit. But she has on 2 lawyers that are discussing this lawsuit that haven't watched the series. And that, to me, feels disingenuous. If you're going to speak about this, at least show a clip of the series. At least have someone on who has watched the series. How can you even assess the allegations that they're bringing forth without having seen the series? How do you not know that this is just, which is exactly what it is, a Justin Baldoni type lawsuit filed by Blake Lively where it's a PR move and you have no idea what they're saying? There's no context to a legal filing until you actually watch the footage of what I said. There's something about that where it's like we need to hold people with platforms to a better standard. It is your job to try to get to the bottom of the truth. I try to do my best. Honestly, the reason why we were delayed on today's episode was because me and my team were debating as we were getting into William Farrington's copyrights, whether or not he was an asset or whether he really was just a journalist that got there on time. We are having an hour debate about that because we want to make sure that wherever we're presenting to you, it's actually based in reality. I mean, Mark was so down far the rabbit hole, he's talking to me about like click speeds of the camera. Like, I don't know anything about tech. I don't know anything about a camera, Mark. I'm like, what do you mean the click speed of the camera? How many shots it could have gotten in one go? That's how committed we are to trying to get to the bottom of the truth when we present it here. And it seems like everyone else is just kind of lazy. They don't really care. They don't really care if there's a bunch of sexual perverts that are in power, right? I'm going to cover it because it's a big story, but whatever. I'm going to try to present it as if like, you know, Candace is going down a rabbit hole that's not important. We all just have to do better is kind of the point that I'm making here. Because I'm getting so remarkably frustrated with people that hold the veneer of being committed to truth, but it's all such low-hanging fruit. It's stuff that doesn't actually matter. You know, we're brushing up against real corruption and real evil, and so few people have the courage to discuss what the implications are. And the implications are that, well, Satan has inherited the earth, is the best way I would say it. It's dark and it's so sinister. And the only way that we're going to be able to shed light on these things is if we have the courage to. And that's why I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart every time I see anybody's comment section where they're talking about the Bridgitte case, because so millions of you guys have watched it. You guys have just been defending me and being like, this is crap. You didn't watch the series. You don't understand how important the story is. And yes, of course, we do believe that Bridgitte Macron is a man. So we will see, peers. We will definitely see whether or not she is a man and whether or not any of you actually care about free speech. I am not at all, I never at all thought that because I took such a risk here, and I would have never taken that risk unless I felt that the evidence was overwhelming. I mean, it's such a crazy, like I said, I was on the side of rationality, just going, oh my God, this is so crazy. Of course it can't be true. And then when I looked at the evidence, it's so overwhelming that it's ridiculous that other journalists would not be jumping on this and telling the story. It's so crazy, the gaslighting that's taking place, this Freud level gaslighting that is taking place across the world regarding Bridgitte Macron. It's just, it's nutty, to be frank. And maybe that's the wrong word to use. Every time I use a word about this, it never seems to be the right fit. Piers said yesterday, you've got balls, and said maybe that wasn't the right terminology to use. But it does frankly seem nutty to me that it's the biggest story in the world, actually, and nobody wants to touch it. And there's a reason for that, because the mainstream media journalists recognize that the perverts are in control and you can't mess with those people. That's my viewpoint. Anyways, and I do this because of you guys, because of your support, and first and foremost, because of my children. Like I said, if we're going to be cowards, this is going to be the world that our children are going to inherit. And they've turned us all into cowards by distracting us where we're so comfortable. It's so easy to be a coward when you're so comfortable. You don't even know what a day of hard work is. People complain if they have to work 8 hours, 5 days a week, right? We're like, oh gosh, I just like the weekend's not long enough. Meanwhile, like you go back 1-2 generations and like your grandparents were working with their hands. Like my granddad was a sharecropper, 5 years old, working out in the fields, laying tobacco out to dry in North Carolina. And then I find myself being like, oh, it was such a long day today. I had to do a press hit and a podcast. We're ridiculous. They wanted us to be ushered into this idea of comfort because they know that breeds cowardice. Like it just breeds complacency and cowardice. And the whole world is gratefully paying attention to this case. And so I'm going to discuss every element of it. I am not scared about the plausibility of me being deposed. I'm not afraid about discovery because there's nothing to hide. I mean, discovery will show that I got into this case, not even because of Xavier Poussard, but because I was reading an article one night. They could bring in PBD, Patrick Bet-David, Vincent Oshana, the night at the UFC, the night that I first fell into the story because of the Daily Mail. And it would just show that I got into this entirely organically. I am not funded by anyone. And I'm passionate about this case because it's just a scary idea that an entire state can collude with the media to hide something this big, right? It's totally demented, and somebody has to have the courage to bring these cases to the forefront. It's like the world is a stage, and these people are actors, and they're handed stuff. Here's this tech, and we're actually using it because we want more control over the population, but we need to make people believe that democracy is real, and that the free markets is real, and that they are able to do the same thing and climb to the top when in reality we have all the power. That's my perception. Would love to hear what your guys' ideas are on that.